Surprise! Welcome back to another episode of Modern Agent Marketing Girls. It is part 2 of our conversations with some modern agent mamas. Now, before we get into this conversation, first of all, if you missed yesterday's episode, be sure to go back and listen to episode 71 so that you can hear the first part of these conversations. But the second part is going to be just as good. These women have such a heart for not only their clients and their families, but also for helping people like you, the women that are listening who are like, whether or not you're a mom, they want to encourage you. They want to meet you where you're at and tell you, like, hey, I've been there and this is how I'm doing it, or this is how I got through it, and you can do this too. That is the whole heart behind these episodes, okay? So before we dive in, I want you to ask yourself, when you are listening to these conversations, what is one takeaway that you could apply to your business or your brand or your life in some way? Like, don't just listen to this and think, oh, that's nice for them, but ask yourself, like, okay, what does this mean for me? And then apply that, right? And two, whenever you listen to somebody's success story on like a podcast or a training or ad or whatever, I want you to fight the urge to play the comparison game and feel like, behind, or feel like, well, I could never do that, or well, she could do it, but I can, we're not doing that game. Instead, I want you to tell yourself, they're going to hear my success story next. Like, I literally want you to listen to this and picture yourself, even whether it's sitting on this podcast or anywhere else that you dream of, going on a stage, wherever, and think like, I'm going to reach this level of success. And when I do that, like, this is what's going to happen for me too. That can just like motivate you and get your head in the right space to listen to these conversations and find some takeaways. So if you are still like, but Kayla, I've listened to every episode, I still don't know what to do, I still don't know what any of this means for me, come to camp, okay? Camp Modern Agent kicks off again on May 18th. It is free. It's an hour a day. It can catapult you into this business and brand that literally you've only ever dreamed of happening. So register today at modernagentsocialclub.com/camp. Send this to your real estate bestie. Have her join you. Gosh, if I were you, I would try to do a lunch or coffee date after every meeting and talk things over and work through the workbook together and all of those things, right? It's so much better with a friend. Anyway, I hope these conversations fuel your growth and, of course, make you feel less alone in this life as a real estate mama. Enjoy these conversations, and we are going to see you next Tuesday. Bye. How do I get more leads?
How do I stand out in my market?
Is it unprofessional to talk about my kids on Instagram?
Should I have one account or two?
Do I really need a personal brand as a real estate agent?
We are the Modern Agent Marketing Girls. We are two agents turned marketing experts who believe you can become the go-to real estate girl in your market, all because you are you. I'm Chelsea Peterson, founder and CEO of Modern Agent Social Club.
And I'm Kayla Fox, Modern Agent's content creator. Let us be your guide as we talk about what it means to market your real estate business the modern way.
So refill your favorite beverage, open your notes app, and get ready to build a business and a brand you're obsessed with. Let's go. Hi, Casey. Welcome to the Marketing Girls podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today. I want to start right away with your 20-second Realtor Mom intro.
Great. Well, thank you for having me. So I'm Casey Leverich. I am a Wisconsin realtor. I am out of the Eau Claire and Chippewa Falls area. I'm a boy mom. I got two boys. Levi's 10, Colton is 6. And our summers, we basically spend all summer at the baseball field. At home, we got chickens and rabbits waiting for us on our little homestead. I really focused on building my real estate career around being online so that I could get more present time with my family after spending over a decade as a social worker before jumping all into real estate. And it's given me all the moments back that I wanted that social work wasn't giving me.
Okay, I want you to tell me more about that, because when you got into real estate, people a lot of times think like, okay, this will be so flexible. I love it. And then all of a sudden they end up in this chaos, working 24/7, no boundaries. And what is your story with that?
Yeah, so I came into real estate knowing I needed boundaries because I was trying to leave that. I was trying to leave. I worked 10-hour days for the federal government as a social worker. And it was my dream job. I thought I was living the dream. And when COVID hit, I just started to get really burnt out working for a federal healthcare system and decided I was going to get my real estate license and do both at the same time. So I had many years, about 2 years solid of complete, absolute chaos of doing both while also raising little kids. But I knew like I had this end goal in mind that I could leave a 9 to 5 and have some freedom. So I knew going into real estate, I had to set boundaries. I was not going to be a 24/7 agent. Like I was not going to do that. And I think that's the mindset that I had going into it was really helpful. I didn't like fall into the chaos of real estate. I was like, I'm going to make this business what I want this business to be for me and for my family so that I can attend the field trips and I can be on the PTO and I can do all of the things that I want to do, be at all the baseball games, not miss any of those. That was also important to me. And I wanted that so bad that I was willing to set the boundaries.
What is your tips or tricks for setting a boundary? Like what's one of your like rules that you live by to do that?
I'm really honest during consultations with whether it's a buyer or a seller that I'm a mom. And most of my clients are moms themselves too. That's just kind of who I have attracted through my social media and my connections. So that's very helpful. But they recognize too, like I'm not gonna miss my son's tournament game where he's gonna win or lose and get a medal. Like I'm not gonna miss that. And they are just very respectful of that. I let people know that my phone silences at 7 o'clock every night. Will I not negotiate a deal that's got a deadline? Absolutely not. I'll always do that. But the little questions and stuff can wait until the next morning. So I'm just really upfront with them and at my very first meeting so that they know what to expect. And I've never had any issues where somebody's like, oh, you're never available. So it's worked out really well.
That's amazing. I think it helps too when you are so strong in your own why for it that you're not
Mhm.
going to be as likely to budge. Obviously, there's always like one off circumstances, but if you
Mhm.
can, for the most part, keep things in a way that feels like this works for me, it works for them. And as long as we have
Yeah.
communication, that it keeps going. So, as far as motherhood and real estate, how do you feel like motherhood has made you a better business owner and real estate agent?
Yeah, it's really, taught me a lot on how to like prioritize things, right? And that's kind of what I talked about with my background is that I wanted to come in and be able to design a business that worked for what my vision was, my why, and all of that. So I thrive in the chaos though. So I do very poorly when I'm not busy because then I'm kind of sitting around like, oh gosh, what do I, and it's hard for me to get back into things. So having kids and being involved in all of their activities and all of their things is good for me and it helps me find balance. And I get to meet people, right? It's such a great way to get to know other moms, other families. I've helped a lot of our kids, friends, like parents
Mhm.
move. And that's a kind of cool for our kids and their kids. And they're like, oh, your mom helped us get a new house. And it's really fun.
Okay, I have to ask because I feel like people ask this all the time. How do you form that relationship? Is it just your being around them and then it comes organically, or is there anything you do in addition to stay top of mind with the kids' friends' parents?
Yeah, so it's really kind of organic. So once somebody friend requests me on Facebook or follows my Instagram, they know I'm a real estate agent. Like it's not a surprise, but I am not at baseball games introducing myself as Levi's mom, the realtor. Like I've never done that, nor will I ever do that. Not how my business practice is going to go. This year, I'm sponsoring our baseball team is adding like field banners out back. And so there'll be a huge photo of me in the back in the outfield, So like there's
That's amazing.
that, but I'm not going to ever bring it up. It's just going to be like this subtle thing in the background. And if anybody ever wants to talk, that's great. But no, I'm not in your face. If somebody follows me on social media, which is generally the trajectory, right? You meet a friend, they want to set up a play date and then you become Facebook friends so you can communicate. They know through what I'm posting on social media that I'm a realtor.
Playdates are gold for this because it's so
Yeah.
easier than when you're past that phase. I'm sure I'm not past playdate phase where you're like, you're not gonna like maybe you could go get coffee, but like the playdate's just this natural, like let's get together with the kids. And that's
Yeah.
so organic, like you said.
Yeah.
What does your like walk us through a day in the life of like what does your life look like right now balancing motherhood and business?
Well, I'm in the season of like prepping for summer. So I've never done this ever. In the 2 summers I've not been at my social work job, we've hired a babysitter over the summer. And last summer, I didn't really feel like I needed it because I could have brought my kids to the couple showings or different things. And this summer, and it's probably going to bite me in the butt, but we're not hiring a babysitter. So I'm in this stage right now of trying to prep everything headed into the summer so that I can really focus on spending time with the boys and not doing like client care doesn't go away, but it's all the other stuff. Like, can I
Mhm.
bulk do other stuff so that it's ready to go. And Modern Agent Social Club obviously helps with that because I don't have to create from scratch everything
Mhm.
either. So that's the season I'm kind of in right now, is just trying to prep for summer, for our first summer without a babysitter. And my social media this summer will be really focused on like our summer bucket list and going out and doing local things with kids.
which everyone loves to consume. So that's perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have anyone in your office or like a team member that help, like you can reach out to or lean on for, you do have a tournament or you do have something and you need someone to cover a showing? Do you have that set up in your office?
Yeah, I'm in a really small brokerage, so there's about 11 of us, but we are always very willing to help each other out. So I was just at a conference in Texas this last week, and it's just sending a message to the group and saying, "Hey, I got this person. Is anybody willing to help out?" It's a lot of like, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, helping
Mhm.
each other out type thing, which is really great in a kind of a small brokerage where we were like a little family.
I feel like that is like a lifesaver because it allows you to be
Yes.
flexible even in some of the unflexible moments of real estate. Okay, so
Mhm.
you mentioned marketing. If you only had 30 minutes a day to market your business, like what would you focus on and how much time are you spending currently?
So currently, it really depends on the day. Sometimes you get so wrapped up, and I'm like, I did so much real estate today, and I didn't document any of that. So it is getting into this habit. I'm actually a lot better at doing the behind the scenes of like mom life,
Mhm.
like my stories and stuff of like we do so many home projects, or we're at the baseball field, or like hanging out with the chickens. Like I like sharing that content, but when I'm doing work I oftentimes forget to share that piece. So that's what I really focus on, is the stories, the behind the scenes. I bulk do all of my Modern Agent content, so like you send it out at the end of the month,
Mhm.
and I pick out, create a schedule. What do I want to post on what day? I edit, and then I bulk schedule everything so I don't have to think about it for rest of the month. And it's just kind of working for me behind the scenes. And that's what I found works for me. And then stories I try to do every day.
We always say there's not a one size fits all. And I think that's the
Mhm.
perfect definition of that because I kind of love that your mom life and like home life, chickens, all that is so heavily in your stories where someone's coming in, they're like, she's the one with the boys and the chickens and the home projects who's a
Mhm.
realtor. And it's not this like awkward pressure to always remind people you're in real estate because like your feed does that, but your stories are this
Yes.
invitation connection. I think that's really
Mhm.
refreshing for people to know it doesn't have to always have this heavy real estate aspect or I always have to be
Mhm.
super clever and bring the real estate into my life, but it just happens kind of naturally. So I think that's really cool. Stories are
Yeah.
they're my favorite thing. It's the connector piece.
It is, and that's what people bring up to me. They're not,
Mhm.
when I meet somebody out in the community, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I saw that you were remodeling your bathroom. I love the wallpaper you put in." They're not saying, "Oh, I saw you go doing a showing." Like,
Right.
like they love the behind the scenes. So just share what you're already doing.
Well, and technically that still really relates to real estate because then someone will be like,
Yeah.
wait, should I do this if we're going to sell or is that not worth it? Like I feel like
Yes.
getting those
Yeah.
questions is gold. You kind of mentioned this, but how do you decide how much mom life to bring into your brand? Is it in your feed too, or do you more so keep it reserved for stories?
I have it mostly just in stories right now. I wanna bring it more into my feed because it is what I would say is a big part of my brand, but then I'll scroll my news feed and be like, "Oh, I like it's all me my face." Like, maybe I should bring in the kids a little bit more just to show that there too. But I always think far in advance, right? If my kids were to look back at my Instagram 10 years from now, or they're applying for a job someday, am I doing something that's hindering their future? Am I doing something that's going to embarrass them? Am I doing something that is going to hurt them in some way? So I try to be thoughtful of what I do and don't share, even if I find it funny and I'm like, "Ooh, this could be a viral moment." Maybe that's
Mhm.
probably not the best thing always to share on the internet because it'll be there forever.
That is such a good point. I've never really thought of that. Not that I'm putting embarrassing things on the
Yeah.
internet, but it is a good point to think about like the future because things do not go away. I love that.
No. No, and as they become teenagers too, I think you even have to be more mindful of that because their friends are on social media.
They'll be like, "Mom, get off of there." Well, like every younger generation thinks like whatever the generation ahead of them does is so like old
Yes,
school or
terrible.
embarrassing. So I'm like, gosh, I'm gonna struggle with that phase.
Yes, yeah.
Unless my son doesn't care about social media, which hopefully he won't. So you have been part of Modern Agent for a long time, and
Mhm.
you've talked about it a little bit today, but how has it really supported you in this season of motherhood and real estate?
It's just a time saving. So it goes kind of back to the boundaries. It's boundaries with time too. Like when I started, I was like, I'm going to find all these ideas on Pinterest and create from scratch. And I'm like, this does nothing to build my business. This is a huge time waste away
Mhm.
from my business, away from my family. So this gave me an opportunity to like make my personality. And that's what I love about it. I've tried other systems out there that provide content, but there's just not this personality focus in it, and that to
Mhm.
me is so important part of my brand that I can plug in a different picture, change it from Diet Coke to watermelon Red Bull, and now it's, like, totally branded to what people would expect from me, and it saves so much time, so much energy, and I've made a lot of friends in the group throughout the time too, so I even got to meet one at the conference in Texas last week, which was really fun.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love
Yeah.
the watermelon Red Bull. That is so
Yes.
specific.
It is
It's
very
like
specific.
equals memorable. It truly does. Like, I feel like I will never forget that now. I feel how long did it take you to get comfortable, like, plugging in your own brand? Because sometimes, someone will see something like that and how it is specific and think, "Well, I can't use that. I don't like that thing," or "I don't talk about that thing." But I think a lot of members like you have gotten to the point where it's like, this is just kind of effortless or it's in my subconscious, you know?
Yeah, and it's I think it started with kind of your basic training that you do of, like, your brand menu, like, what do I want to be known for?
Mhm.
And that just kind of the watermelon Red Bull came kind of naturally because it's just what I was always drinking, and then people were pointing it out to me, like, I wasn't even logically recognizing it. So maybe if you're struggling with it, just ask people you know of, like, "When you think of me, what do you think of?" And I'm sure they'll give you some really great ideas that you otherwise wouldn't. Pink is my other thing, like, I love pink, and I'm in a house full of boys. So this is, like, something I can do uniquely me and feminine in a house full of boys. My office is all pink. So,
Same, I
figure out
love that.
what's your thing. Yes, yeah.
I love asking other people because we get too in our heads that we have to, like, decide. Like, I need to decide
Mhm.
my brand, and then you totally overthink. I just asked my husband the other day a question like that, and I'm like, "I'm how many years into this?" But I'm like, "Just tell me which one, A or B?" And he's like,
Yes.
"Definitely B." It's like they can see it so clearly. So,
Yes, yeah.
what would you tell the mom who's listening who feels like she might be behind, whether it's in real estate or it's in social media or both? What is your advice to her?
I would say we've probably all been there at some point. And what I always tell moms who are struggling, even outside of real estate, is like, this is just a season of life you're in. Little kids, like baby toddler phase is so hard. And I like struggled so much, like mentally. I wasn't physically taking care of myself, like so many things. And it was like you're in this survival mode all the time. So, like, it got better, like, then I got
Mhm.
out of that stage and I didn't have kids hanging on my legs and I got some of my independence back. It got better. It was just a season of life. I can't speak to older kids, but, I would imagine, like, every stage has its different challenges, its different struggles. So it's a season and you're never behind. You're doing what works for your family. And I always say, like, maybe when my kids are 18 and moved out, then I'll have all the time in the world. But that's not why I got into real estate. I got into real estate to be present for my family and for my kids. And if that makes me feel a little bit behind compared to a 20-year-old who doesn't have a family and that's rocking it in the area, fine. Fine. You have to let it go and remember your why.
Does social media help you attract, like you said, more people that are like you, like other moms and people that are that good fit where you're not constantly feeling like I need to over explain or like there's like a lot of resistance with things or questions?
Yes, very much so. And I work with a lot of relocation people who find me on Instagram or find my website is very branded. I feel like by the time somebody reaches out to me, they've decided if they wanted to work with me or not. Like, I don't generally interview for anything because, like, they've researched
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Like, if you don't like my vibe, if you don't like how I talk, what I'm sharing, that sort of thing, and you don't feel like we're a good fit, you wouldn't have reached out in the first place. So I've been very fortunate that I just attract people who become really good friends of mine, and it's just worked out really great, whether they're moving out of state or they're local people. I just love the people that I've gotten to know through my real estate business, and so many of them leave as friends.
I think that's the dream is you get into real
Mhm.
estate and you don't have to persuade or convince. You're attracting those people to you and everything feels more like a friendship and you take
Yes.
it seriously like a business, but I think that is the best. Welcome to the Marketing Girls podcast, Brittany. Can you start by just giving us a 20-second, who is Brittany? What can we learn about you, and tell us everything?
Well, my name is Brittany Bierman. I am a Northern Illinois realtor, a mom of 3, of 4 and under. So times like this gets a little chaotic for me, but my life is very, very full. I run basically a relationship-driven business in real estate. Right now, my days kind of look like doing stuff between nap time and like tagging in my mother-in-law. She lives like 2 minutes from me. Like, hey, can you hold the baby for nap time? He's not going down. Random bursts of focus after bedtime. I've really built my business by doing the opposite of what most people want you to do in real estate at brokerages. I focus on like less pressure, more connection with my friends and like small businesses around. It's actually what's brought me most of my clients. Yeah, just being authentic and true to myself and not trying to like hide the fact that I have kids yelling in the background half the time. People don't mind that, especially other moms.
For sure. So 3 under 4, you are in a super busy season. What advice do you have for other moms? Like whether you have 3 under 4 or you have 1 under 4, like what is your advice for a mom who might feel behind or like, okay, there's all these agents killing it on social media, killing it in their business. And I feel like how do I get there? What's the next step for me?
So I feel like if you don't find a little bit of peace in the chaos, you're never going to feel at peace because life is always changing. You're going to find your groove. And then like with the babies, like it's just the same in real estate. Even if you have like a baby or if you don't, if you find a groove, something's going to change, a life event or anything can change. Or for your clients, anything is up in the air. If you don't find peace in just like the chaos of life and real estate, I feel like you'll never get there. You'll always feel behind. So everything's just ever changing, just finding pockets of time to fill your cup. Like even if it's a shower at midnight, the baby wasn't going down, anything, just a little bit of me time or to run your business even.
It's such a different phase of life. And I love how you're describing it because like every mom goes through it of like shower at midnight or can you hold the baby while he's sleeping or I have this extra pocket because he took a long nap. Like your day's always different. Could you tell us like what is your day in the life right now? How do you balance business, motherhood, all of the things?
So you don't balance. I feel like there's never going to be balance. You're always going to feel guilty just as a woman and a mom. You're always going to feel guilty when one part of something lacks, especially as a business owner and entrepreneur. So like day in the life, like sometimes I get up like with the kids, we have breakfast and stuff. But sometimes like a client has been calling me and I'm like throwing Eggos on the table. Like here you guys go or putting like cartoons on. So it's very different every day, but it's like trying to find the one day a week where you could just like sit there and like get head down work done, like just trying to like make sure that your marketing is going, like batching content and stuff. So yeah, and then during nap times, I kind of try to do plug and play kind of posts. Those are super easy. I love doing those like during nap time. Just every day is a little bit different. And it's just, getting up, doing the thing. Trying to have some structure, I think, is key, but, sometimes structure doesn't happen.
Do you have a daily non-negotiable of anything?
Yes. I try to do 15 minutes of one-on-one time with all of the kids. And it's not business related, but there's that. I have to do that. Otherwise, I feel super guilty. Mm-hmm. And like I said, with like the balance and stuff, there's never going to be balance. So with like the dishes, I always try to put those, get the kitchen cleared up before bedtime. So like I don't feel behind the next day. Business-wise, logging into our site every day, just trying to figure out what I'm going to post for the day, and then making sure I'm doing stories. Like those are my non-negotiables every day. If I get those things done, I don't feel behind or like any urgency. Yeah.
And I think they're all doable. Like you're not saying, I'm going to do this one thing for 3 hours.
Baby steps. Yeah,
baby steps. And the baby steps just compound and the compound effect happens. And now it's working and you're not spending hours and hours and hours doing things.
Exactly.
I love that. How do you decide or include mom life into your brand?
I just don't filter anything. My kids are being feral, dancing on my dining room table while I'm trying to write an offer, whatever. I'll put it on my story. I feel like being transparent, relatable, like my clients even know what to expect. My kids are not feral, like in public. Like I just let them be themselves at home. But people know what to expect, like if I'm bringing them to a showing. And I always am like, hey, just so you know, I have to bring 1, 2, or 3 kids today. Are you okay with that? And if they're not, I'll try to like scramble something. But most of the time, everybody's okay with it. And it's fun. So I make sure that they're included in a lot. Yeah, that's kind of how, I just don't filter much. It's all together. It's hard to separate it. So it's just enmeshed in everything.
Do you mostly bring kids into like stories, or do you have it in your feed? Or
Mostly stories, sometimes feed. But yeah, I
just
do them
saw a
like in the
reel.
background and stuff. So
I need to send you this reel. It said something like home is where, like, it was like 3 things and I forget what they are, but then the last one was, and your feral kids. And I was like, this is so true. Like, so relatable.
1,000%.
And so I have it saved to like send in an email, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I love that. So marketing wise, you kind of went through your non-negotiables, which I think are simple, doable.
Yeah.
If you only had 30 minutes a week to spend on marketing, what is your focus?
Oh, geez. Social media. That's all. Social media is the easiest thing that you could do.
To reach the most amount of people, least amount of time. How do you plan content? Do you batch more than you, or are you more kind of sporadic?
Yeah, I try to batch if I have like a full day, but I'm right now in this season, because nobody's sleeping, it's sporadic. So I just log in, be like, oh, there's a good plug and play. Or if I feel something like that I feel like I need to say, I just hop on my stories.
I love that approach so much. I was talking to another member and she was saying like, I'm a type B who wants to be a type A. So really I'm a type C. Like, and so it's like that mix of both.
Yeah.
But I think people try too hard sometimes to put it all in a box, or like, if I don't have it all scheduled by Sunday at 4, well, forget it. The week's over. Like it's that all or nothing. And it's like, that will never work, especially in a season of mom life and busyness and all the things. So I love that you just take it as it is. And it's like, in this season, we do what we have to do. We do what we can do, and just run our business. How would you say mom life has made you a better realtor, business owner?
Fly by the seat of my pants. Like, the kids, unpredictable. And then same real estate, unpredictable. It's just being a mom, I feel like, shapes you to be able to adapt and change. It helps you be able to pivot in ways that you didn't think. Like, if you were rigid before you were a mom, you can't. You're just, it's hard to be, unless you're very super type A, like schedule, time block with your kids too. But even then, it's just, it helps you adapt better.
I think too, the moms who are maybe more rigid are like, okay, all the kids are going to daycare 5 days a week. I have to work, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm not that personality. So it's like, how do you then bend the boundaries a little bit from a mom perspective, and then almost like harden the boundaries in a business perspective? It is like you're right, there's no balance. It's just a fly by the seat of your pants and to some degree. But I think that's refreshing to hear, that there's not this like magical answer that you just have to unlock at some point. It's like,
my house is not clean when I'm doing showings all week. Right. It's just not. And I had to let that standard go. And it's not like, it's livable still. It's just cluttered. There's toys everywhere because my kids are hopping in the car. So it is what it is.
Exactly. How has Modern Agent Social Club helped you in this season of motherhood and business?
Kind of what we talked about, the post and go stuff is very easy as long as you're putting your personality to it. I feel like people adapt or receive it well because they're like, oh, Brittany's doing this or Brittany's doing that. And then they like binge watch or like find something cool that you posted that was fun. And then they're scrolling now and be like, oh, this looks fun. And this. So yeah, Modern Agent has helped a ton. The podcast helps a ton. When we're going to showings, I'm like listening to the podcast all the time. Or if I'm getting ready to go for the day. It's been a mindset shift for sure.
Fitting it in. What parts of your personality do you bring into your brand? Besides mom life, I guess. Like, is there a drink or a local spot or a...
So I have a ton of coffee shops by me. So I'm like I want to do what, I forget who posted, like the coffee local guide. That was so fun.
That was really cute.
I can't remember. So I want to do something like that because me and my husband are always trying new coffee shops. So coffee shops, there's like a little cafe in Crystal Lake, which is like 15 minutes from me, called Lake Roots. And it's newer and it's right by the lake over there. So it's super fun. So Lake Roots, Open Door Coffee Genoa, and then this little guy. All things floral. Like,
love it.
My laptop case has like a floral thing, like whimsical or whatever. I don't know. So fun stuff.
I love that. That's so fun.
We're outdoorsy too. We go camping. So I always post that we're at the camper in Wisconsin. And Yeah, we go like 4-wheeling and dirt biking and stuff. Yeah.
That's so fun. What is your favorite part of social media? If you could only do one thing.
Ooh, stories.
Stories.
Hands down.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so
the
fun,
connector.
interactive. Yeah.
The micro moments, but they almost make a bigger splash than like posting does. I always get the question.
Thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes it easy then when you enjoy it, right? Makes it more doable. I always think about like the micro stories do so much, but then people will say, well, do I even need to post in my feed? And I was like, well, yeah, your feed's like people are getting the feel for like, who is this? Do I want to learn more? Am I going to come inside the store or whatever? But yeah, stories are so fun. Okay, amazing. Is there anything else that you have that you want to share as far as advice for agents or a final thought on mom and realtor life?
Mom realtor life, just do it. Anything that moves the needle, just do it. Do it hard. You know, it's like, if it's hard, it's fine. Everything will be fine. It's a season that you're in. Do it anyway, I guess.
That's perfect.
Do it scared.
Thank you so much. Yeah, do it scared. I think that's such helpful, refreshing advice for moms because we get in our heads. We really do. Or time becomes this like really difficult thing to figure out. And it's like, if you can just work in the pockets, I love the idea of like a nap time something as like a brand thing because I think it's so relevant to moms, but kids only nap for a little over 3 years. So then you're like, okay, well now.
Right, exactly.
But I think it's cute.
Kristen, I would love for you to share just like a 20-second trailer, who you are, what you do, all the things.
Well, my name is Kristen Shuprai. I am a Metro Detroit real estate agent and mom of 2 teenage boys. My days are built around football practice and games and schedules and a lot of time in the car, usually with a pizza sitting on the front seat on the way home.
Oh my gosh, our lives are the same. Even though my boys aren't playing high school football, I've got football players and I'm always taking our pizzas to the football team for my husband. So relate to all the things. That's amazing. So as a real estate agent who has older kids now, you have teenage boys. So what is that like? How do you balance this? How do you incorporate them into your brand, but also like let them just be kids? Like, what are your secrets?
Yeah. This has changed a lot in the last couple of years because they are growing into their own and have a say and feeling about what they want to put out into the world. So I respect that fully. We've had a lot of open conversations about that, and I've just had to pivot what I've done a little bit. So instead of just posting everything, I now am kind of more talking about what my experience is being their mom and watching them hit all of these milestones. I've also stepped back a little bit with pictures. So they're boys who don't always love being in front of the camera anyway. But now I'm kind of taking a step back and doing the broader picture of things. So maybe I'm not posting a picture of them in their football uniform after the game, but I'm taking a picture of the full field with everybody there so that they're in there, but it's not the sole focus of them.
Yeah. I love that picture advice because it is true. You want to show what life is like as a mom. You're not trying to like embarrass your kids. And so just like that unique lens of like, I'm going to stand over here. Or I'm going to take a picture of like their water bottles on the front seat or something instead of like their faces and all of that. I think that's so smart.
100%. Yeah. And every so often they still give me the green light to give, full.
Well, because they're good boys. Yes. I love that so much. And they're probably like, how is my mom Instagram famous? Like, what is she doing? I love that so much. Okay. So if you were giving advice to like other realtor moms of like teenagers, how do you balance the like practice schedules, but the showings and all of those things? Like, have you found a few things that just really work for you and your family?
Yes. Yeah. I do have to wake up earlier to try and fit everything in because we do only have so much time during the day to do all of that. So I am a little bit more regimented about when I wake up, and it really is just being flexible. That's one of the things that is a good balance between real estate and motherhood is learning how to juggle everything, how to manage everything. So I fit it in where I can. I try and get work done in the blip of when they're at school and before practice. Sometimes I go to practice and I go to the library to fit in that time. And then I go and pick them back up and get that pizza that we were talking about. So it's really fitting it in where you can. but also setting boundaries too. I love what I do. I love my work. And sometimes that can bleed into my family time. So I've had to set really strict boundaries for myself of this is my family time. We are devoted to each other, and then doing work when I can.
But then meanwhile, you're also marketing your business online. So you're
Yes.
serving your clients, you're tending to your family, you're doing all those things. How does that fit into your life?
Yeah. So those are actually some of my favorite posts to make is me working in the car, taking a picture of my laptop with the soccer field in the background. That's a lot of fun too. Just doing the day in the life of is a really fun post for me to do because it is so different. And people don't realize all of the different aspects of my life that I juggle in a 24-hour period.
I loved what you said when you talked about like how you have set better boundaries and you have a confidence in showing up now that you didn't have before. Okay, so because you're a mom of like teenagers, it's not like this is new to you, right? Like you've been figuring out like how motherhood has like changed you as a business owner and all that stuff all of this time. But as far as actually like figuring out how to be like present, but also how to be like really step into like yourself, your identity, your life as a business owner. What has that looked like? Like, has that been like a fairly easy transition over so many years? Do you feel like because they're a little bit older, you have a little bit more space to like practice a few things and like build that confidence? Or like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, a lot of it was learning and trying new things and sometimes failing forward. I don't always feel like I'm hitting the mark. And that is just a learning experience for myself too, of what I can handle, what I can't, where I need to set those boundaries. And once that clicked for me, I've built this sense of confidence in myself of, okay, yes, I can handle this. I've been through this season before.
Yeah.
We will weather it and make it through. But yeah, I walk forward with a little bit more, not to be redundant, but confidence with it. I know what I need to do. I know what will be great to capture, what to share. It's just been a really cool and empowering experience for me coming out the other side of that.
And that's so important for like younger moms to hear. Like there's no magic formula, there's no magic hack that they just haven't discovered yet. It really is a matter of just like living life and having nights that just go really bad and
Yeah.
that, right?
Yes. And one thing that took me a little while to realize is that nothing is going to be perfectly balanced. There are going to be seasons where I need to pour more into my business and seasons where I have the opportunity to spend more time with my family. The goal is to try and get it as level as I can, but understanding that it's never going to be that way. And we figured out a flow with my family. We're coming into the spring, summer, which is more of a busy season for me and my business. And everybody understands that I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time in my office doing work, be out for showings, all of that jazz. But we still make it very special. With every closing, we did that since they were little. We would go out and get pizza to our favorite pizza place, Buddy's Pizza in Detroit. You have to try it. But we would make it a celebration and involve them so they understood that there is a reward for me putting so much work into it.
That's so cool. And it's cool too, because you probably get to have like more mature conversations with them about, well, some things don't always go your way, or when these things fall through, this is how I have to handle that. I mean, even with my son now, I'm having those conversations of like, hey, I know what it's like to like put yourself out there and feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But like what you just said, I feel like that's such a great example for your kids and like, especially for boys who just need like to see strong leaders in men and women.
Yes, absolutely. And it's becoming kind of a cool conversation to have. So I have a 16-year-old who we're starting to talk about what happens in life after high school and those conversations. What does he want to do? And he is a natural born salesman. So I'm trying to encourage him to lean into his strengths there. But we can start to have more of those candid conversations. And what does it look like? What goes into my job? What do I experience? What do I love? What do I don't? And just really get their wheels spinning.
Yeah. Well, entrepreneurship in general, like real estate aside, entrepreneurship, it's such a like a personal growth journey, like the whole thing. And I know I've said that to my son too. It's like, man, like you just get opportunities with it that you don't with when you're working a 9 to 5. And so, in some ways it's a disservice that they see this as being normal. And then they go get a job and they're like, wait, I have to like ask for lunch. Like I have to ask, like, go to the doctor or whatever. But like, it's so cool that they get to see like firsthand, like this is how mom built her business. This is what she did. And someday, hopefully they'll become dads and they'll have kids of their own and they'll be like, man, like my mom was amazing. That payoff at the end of the tunnel.
Takes many years to get that, but we'll get it eventually.
Totally worth it. Exactly. So if a mom is listening right now and she's like, I feel like I'm in the thick of it. I can't even keep my head above water, whether she has young kids or if she's in the middle of it like you with teenagers, what would you like to tell her?
Yeah, to recognize that every stage has its different demands and pace of life. And it can be really hard, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You are never behind. I was thinking about that because I was having a conversation with my colleague the other day about feeling behind. And really, who is to say who's behind? There is no one saying, I have to be at this stage of life by this time. So just recognizing that you are in control of what that looks like, to involve your family in that and make it a little bit seamless there. But every stage has its different demands and pace, and that's good. That's what makes it fun. I am struggling now a little bit with my boys not needing me, and I don't have that demand as much at home. So now I'm pouring into plants. That's my new identity.
Love it. We are the same person.
I need to nurture something. Really to be where your feet are, enjoy the season as chaotic as it may feel, because at the next one, you might miss a bit of what you just experienced and went through.
Yeah, exactly. But then there's really fun things on the other side too.
Yes, absolutely.
That's so cool. Very cool. Is there anything else that you would like to say as far as like how Modern Agent has supported you during your whole journey as far as marketing yourself online?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I got into real estate, I started interviewing every realtor that I knew, friends, family members, my past realtor, and they were never in my stage of life. Several of them were men, which men are great, but they didn't have children or children at the age that my children were. So I really needed to make sure that I connected with moms to get the feel of what being a real estate agent would be with having little kids. And being with Modern Agent, I have that all at my disposal. We are such like-minded individuals, and we want to build our business in a similar way by relating to people, building relationships, showing up online and social media. And I didn't have a lot of other resources that were doing business the same way I wanted to. So that has been invaluable in so many ways. And I have friends now all over the country and in Canada. It is literally the best.
Okay, Trisha, if you could give us just like a 20-second trailer, who you are, what you do, what people should know about you, what would that look like?
I am Trisha Reynolds. I am a realtor in Dayton, Ohio. I've been in real estate for over 15-ish years, but I've been a realtor for a little over 10. I have two boys. Well, they're grown men now. Logan is 25. Dylan is almost 24. And I've built like a referral-based business. So I basically just deal with that. My days are a little bit I don't know what's going to happen at any time. But since I have so much flexibility, I'm available all the time for whatever comes up. I spend a lot of time with my husband, and I just am really enjoying this bittersweet, almost empty nester life.
I believe it. Yeah, it's what you work towards your whole life, but then you're like, it's here. What's happening?
Yes. And it's like when you're, a mom for so long, that's your whole identity. So
yeah, big shift for sure.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think motherhood has made you like a better agent all these years?
I think that being able to, well, especially having two kids, knowing that there's two sides to every story and you kind of want both sides to win. And I feel that even when I'm representing the buyer or the seller, I want the ultimate goal for everybody. So I'm able to kind of play that middleman, this is, how they're thinking and this is what they're thinking, rather than coming like hard and fast. This is absolutely what we want. This is what we're going to get. I just want everybody to come out as a winner. And I think being a mom and dealing with that has helped.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a middle child thing too. Are you a middle child too?
Right. I mean, it could have been, I'm the baby, but my brother was special needs. So I think I kind of had a role to make everything good,
That totally makes sense. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that your kids are older and they're all kind of doing their own thing, how is it still, like, how do you still balance like motherhood and also your clients, your marketing, all of that?
Well, I think that I'm just, I guess, able to balance it because my kids aren't as needy, but they do still need some things. I mean, for instance, my son that's 25, he needs a ride to the doctor's office today or something. So I'm going to take him and I can do that, and because my life is so different, it is very easy to be able to balance everything. Just, when you don't have to take kids to and fro into sports and to this and to that, and you're just available.
Well, and think about just your life 10 years ago. It was completely different. Like, it's
oh my gosh,
how quickly it all changes.
Yes, it goes so fast. And that's also what I try to tell them is that everything seems like it's such a big deal. It's so far away, but it goes by in a blink. Even if you look back 1 year ago, things were completely different than what they are now. And your kids get older and it's like you really, really enjoy them, You're like talking to them and they're adults. And then it's like they don't really want to be around you that much.
But you're reaping the rewards because now you kind of be their friend instead of just their mom and all of that stuff. I love that. I look forward to that, even though I'm treasuring where I'm at now.
For sure. Yes.
If you only had like 30 minutes a day to market your business, what would you do?
I think I would just kind of showcase where I'm at. Well, I mean, people are kind of interested in life. I know that's what I look at in social media. I want to know kind of what you're doing. I love the day in the life stuff. I want to know where you're going. Just the stuff that seems even mundane. I think that's what people like. They want to know what stage you're in and even give themselves hope that, when you're in the drudges of those, 3 a.m. feedings and all that stuff, that life gets better.
We think our lives are so boring because we just live them every day.
Yes.
But then people are like, wait a minute, tell me more about that. Or like, what did you order there? Or how did you? And it's like, oh, this is interesting. That's interesting.
And that's what I love to. I mean, I spend a lot of time scrolling and it's because I want to see what other people are doing. I'm interested in them. So I try to make people interested in what I'm doing. I don't know that it is, but I do. That's how I market.
You do a really great job. Think back even like in the last 5 years, what parts of motherhood were you like intentionally adding to your content? And what parts were you like, nope, that doesn't belong here?
I wasn't really into marketing like that. This has become new to me, this marketing thing and sharing more of my life.
Yeah.
So I think 5 years ago, I was probably doing more of, postcard mailers and flyers and a lot of stuff that didn't really pan out too much. I was just spinning my wheels. Like, I got to get business. I got to get business. I got to get business. And so this aspect is a little bit newer and it seems easier and it seems more, that friendship. Like I'm making these friendships online with people I don't know, Right? No,
I love that so much. Because it's true. You get off that like hamster wheel of like, got to keep working, got to get the clients, got whatever. And when you can just like be and not constantly be striving, you really do become like a magnet for people. People do want to like lean in and hear what you have to say.
And it's so nice when you see someone out, even, and it's, people that I know, and they'll say, oh my gosh, I see you everywhere. I see all your social media and all this. I'm like, well, that's the goal. That's what I'm hoping people are seeing me out there. But it's nice when they just, and they're enjoying it. And they like it.
Yes. Even if they don't react online, even if they don't like the post or respond or whatever, people are paying attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning because I can get real stuck in the, the little hearts and the, why is nobody commenting and unfollows. Oh my gosh. I'm like, why are people unfollowing me? I'm lovely.
Right. I am a delight.
Yes.
It's so true. Yeah. We can get so caught up in that. I do think that people forget that like, because as business owners, we know the importance of like likes and comments and DMs and shares. And so we respond to people's content like that because we know like we kind of give what we want to receive. Right. But the general public, like my friends are on Instagram all the time. They never like, comment, share. They'll send me a DM here and there if they see like a funny reel, but then they watch all the content, But I think we forget sometimes that most people aren't purposely interacting with content that way. It doesn't mean it's not making an impact.
That's true. Yeah. And I have to remind myself of that all the time.
Love that. Okay. So how has Modern Agent supported you as you have like started marketing in this way and still like being present for your boys and your husband and all of that?
Well, I'm not a very creative person. So it has really stretched my creative brain to make me think in different ways, things that I wouldn't normally think of.
Yeah.
And it's kind of taken the pressure off that I have to try to figure it all out myself. But yet by doing it and seeing the stuff all the time, I get ideas of other stuff that maybe I haven't seen. and confidence to just go ahead and just post that, or that idea might be good, So it takes the stress off, and it helps me to be more creative.
I love that so much. Some people are just naturally creative, but I do think it's also a skill that people have to like take the time to like purposely develop. And then you start to see things in a different light, and it helps you see what's possible with your content.
Yeah, it's a lot of stress off. Honestly, it's just, just has me thinking another way. And then even if I'm not feeling like I can't think of anything, there's all this info, you guys provide so much.
Yeah.
And to just be able to look through things and like, oh yeah, I have a picture that could go with that. Or, oh
Yes.
yeah, I can move this around a little bit. And I think that so much in my life has been like that if it's just, if someone gives me like the idea, then I can kind of build on it, but it's hard for me to come from scratch. Like,
yeah. For sure. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Okay, so for any moms who are listening who are maybe in the same stage of life as you, or like babies are leaving the nest and like you're kind of discovering like you have maybe a little more time on your hands in some ways, but then your time's being stretched in other ways, what would you want to tell her as far as like, if she's an agent and she's like, I just feel like everything's changing so fast, what would you want to tell her?
Just to slow down and just enjoy it, to just enjoy this stage. And that, like I said before, like, everything changes so quickly. So, a year from now, things are going to be very different. And I think sometimes in real estate, we can get where we compare what other people are doing. And, oh, they've got this closing, and, oh, they sold a $5 million house, and, all that. And I think that that's a detriment to ourselves. I mean, we're doing a lot, and being a mom is probably one of the most important things we'll ever do. And then to be able to bring, our business into it and have flexibility and all of that, I would say just enjoy just right where you are, and know that there is no reason to compare. There's room for all of us.
Yeah.
And, all of us to grow. And again, if a year from now, things are not going to look the same as what they do right now, know?
That's so true. Comparison is seriously the thief of joy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Water your own grass, stay in your own lane. You find that you actually have a really beautiful life.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm so glad we got to hang out today. If you're as sad as I am that our time is up, I've got good news. There are a couple of different ways we can keep the conversation going.
First, follow us on Instagram at Modern Agent Marketing Girls and introduce yourself in the DMs. Also, we always have a free Modern Agent resource available, so check out today's show notes for the goods.
And finally, hang out with other go-to real estate girls like you and finally create a marketing plan that works when you join Modern Agent Social Club. All the details are in today's notes.
XOXO, the Marketing Girls.